This right here is my 2008 Audi A4. Now this is a B7. This particular example features a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, although there is an alternative option being a 3.2-liter naturally aspirated V6. Now the B7 was a very thoroughly reworked V6 with changes in the front end of the car, the rear end of the car, changes to the interior, as well as drivetrain changes, as the prior generation used a 1.8T, which is a great engine, as well as a 3.0. Now this particular car is a Quattro, which means it has the, I nearly called it a Sliptronic because they do have some issues. Mine fortunately does not, but it has a Tiptronic transmission. However, there is a front-wheel drive model available at the CVT, which I believe is called a Multitronic, in addition to a 6-speed manual. Now, this particular B7, despite having the S-Line body package, is actually not an S-Line. However, for the 2008 model year, what Audi did is they gave the car a more aggressive front end, more aggressive wheels, obviously the side blades that came with the S package, even if the car wasn't an S-Line. That being said, there was an S-Line package available, which probably did some things along the lines of stiffening up the suspension, making sure the car handled better, things of that nature. That being said, this particular example, despite being quite old, still works all very well. This one actually just rolled over 177,000 miles. I've put like 3,500 miles in the time that I've owned it. And obviously it's not 100% stock, but they're all cosmetic. It's nothing really that big of a deal. So today I will review it and essentially share my ownership experience of the B7 and why I think it is a perfectly viable option on the used car market today. Now the B7 in this video was $800. However, at the time it did need quite a comprehensive level of work. That being said, it is quite common to find these on Facebook Marketplace with prices ranging from anywhere from like $3,000 to $8,000 depending on condition and mileage. That being said, it isn't necessarily a flawless car with issues coming with the water pump, timing chains, valve gasket cover leaks. Obviously the Tiptronic transmission is sometimes with higher miles have a tendency to slip. However, this particular example is in very good condition due to preventative maintenance, which is certainly the best way to take care of one's own car. Now, for that money, the car does have quite a lot to offer. For one, this particular one has higher options, being that it has xenon headlights, heated seats. There are options to get heated rear seats. I believe one could get a heated steering wheel. All cars actually, if you got the Bose sound system, which works great, there was an option to get, you'd get Sirius satellite radio, and it was actually like permanent. My car still has it. I have a friend who has one, his still has it. Other options include the ability to have navigation. This particular car has a lot of other strange, interesting things that I wouldn't necessarily expect in a car at this price point, which is perfectly why I find it to be such a great bargain, given that the car itself is well maintained. This is the interior of my B7. Now, apart from the worn steering wheel, it is actually in fantastic condition. There are no obvious creaks or rattles. Fortunately, none of my switches are peeling, which is a common issue these have. However, it is very fixable, and everything on this interior works, which is very, very nice. Not only that, the seats are very comfortable, as this one has the 8-way seats with lumbar support, including the passenger side, which makes for nice road trips. There is, however, one crucial flaw with the B7's interior. It is not very roomy. For instance, I had 3 friends in the car, and to put it this way, the friends that I had in the back seats probably wish that they were amputees. I myself, I'm like 5'7"-ish, and there is still a minimal amount of legroom behind me. My friend who was in the passenger seat was 6'3", and essentially the back seat directly behind him had literally no legroom. Now the seats are actually very comfortable in the back if you have no legs, or if you're incredibly short, or perhaps if other people driving the car are short. However, for the most part, they are quite useless and not necessarily something I would consider a viable option, especially on a long road trip. From the sizing concerns, the interior of the B7 is actually quite a nice place to be. Now, I myself tend to drive by myself, usually to work, practice, school, whatever. Or if you have 2 people in the car, including the driver, it's perfectly comfortable and you'll have ample space. Now, things that make the interior of the B7 quite nice are the heated seats. Especially, I live in Michigan, wintertime, it's not necessarily warm. Now, the heated seats have 6 stages instead of just the usual 1, 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky. Does just having 6 stages really do anything? No. Does it feel cool? Yes, it does. Not only that, you have one-touch windows, which is all expected, as well as a great sound system. I was actually really surprised It's better than the Mark Levinson system that a lot of Lexuses have. Furthermore, there is a very convenient card slot, which I will essentially show that mechanism in a moment right here, which is quite nice. I actually keep a little thing of hand sanitizer in there. And then my particular one, I actually installed the flip out cup holder from a B7 A4. And if anyone actually wants to know how I did that, it was really simple. I probably will make a YouTube video on that. Maybe I will. I mean, I already did it. So I have a third cup holder, which I don't actually use it. I just like the super complicated mechanism. Now there are 6 CD slots. However, if you got the navigation, I believe you only had 1. And then there is an option to connect your phone in the glove box or center console. Now the downside of this is you had to have like this weird snap-in adapter, and it wasn't necessarily meant for newer phones. So for me, it is very, very useless. There is really no point in that. Further adding to making this car nicer, obviously you have auto headlights, daytime running lights, which are quite nice. They look cool. I actually made mine LED. And you have these, I believe they're called like going home lights, which means the fog lights will stay on for another, usually about, I think it's like 2-3 minutes after the car is off. Now another cool feature that this car has is, when you turn it off, you can still roll down all the windows until the car senses that the driver's door is open. So say you just want to sit in a parking lot, maybe look at your phone, read a book, look at your receipts, do whatever, you can just have some nice air ventilation, which is very, very nice. And then there's actually quite a decent amount of room in here for as far as like leg room in the front, like football, which is quite nice. Obviously I'm not necessarily one to talk, so I'm like 5'7", but you know, it's quite nice. And the cup holders down here, these are very good. However, this one is I myself in the back seat of my B7 A4, and as I mentioned earlier, legroom is, I mean, it's there. I'm 5'7", sitting behind someone that's 5'7", so I'm like pretty short, and it still could be a whole lot better. For instance, a comparable 3 Series has a substantial amount of legroom. This does not have really any legroom, but you do have a nice armrest here with some storage, these little pockets you can put things in, and you have an ashtray, and you can lock the doors, but you can't unlock them for some reason. I think it's meant for kidnapping people, I'm not sure. Now these seats actually do fold, which I will now demonstrate, and they are lockable. Now folding them's really easy. There's just a little handle here, you pull it and the seat goes down. Very nice. And just like so, you put them back up. Now another feature this car has that not all B7s have, and if you are a big skier, this may come in handy. It has a little cargo, or not cargo bag, a ski bag. So you can fit skis into here. I mean, maybe fishing poles, they'd probably have to be really short. And this just essentially means that the interior of your car won't get all wet, unlike most cars which just have a traditional ski pass through. So this is quite nice. However, it does take quite a while to fold back up, and most of the time I put it back in there and then the thing just pops open because you have to, it's really tricky. But it does happen to have these really nice like little latches so you can make sure your skis are secure, not sliding around, which is very, very, how should I put it, German. Now, I currently find myself in the trunk of a B7, but fortunately, this is not a hostage situation. This is just me demonstrating how spacious this is. Now, on this side, which you probably can't see, there's a little latch compartment, which is kind of where I just keep some detailing towels. And just behind me, if I were just to get out of my trunk, which is probably not the best place for me to be, there's a nice little pocket over here in which you can keep things and make sure that they're secure. Now, if you could also install a cargo net, which is what I did. This one came out of an A6 wagon at the junkyard, and it keeps my sweater, which is the only thing I have underneath it, secure, which is quite nice because I don't like having things slide around in my car. Which is also why I like this pocket over here. So overall, for a compact sedan, it is pretty ample, and it is certainly. I am now driving my B7 A4. Now, please excuse the. There are a lot of bumps, to say the least. I live in Michigan. Our roads, I mean, our roads literally like are just awful. There's truly no other way to put it. So, now the B7 A4 is actually quite a nice car to drive. It's not really that fast. I mean, I'm sure obviously S4 versions are probably pretty quick. RS4, I'd like to think the 3.2 is a decent pickup. 0 to 60 is 6.5 seconds. However, it is actually it gets like pretty good fuel economy. I mean, I was honestly really surprised. Is it going to be like a Prius? No, but I have roof racks on my car. They add a lot of drag. They're not super heavy. I have a wind deflector, so hopefully it's a little more quiet. And I still get like 28 on the highway, and it's not like I'm driving like 60. I usually go like 75 with cruise. And so That's obviously quite nice if you don't have roof racks on. You'll be getting like 30 highway unless you drive part my language here like an asshole. So it is actually quite nice. Now, that being said, it is an old German car, so that means you need to fill up with 93. When last time I gassed up my car with a tank of 93, I think it was like $4 a gallon. It was something like $64. Now I usually get my thing down really low. Usually have like 5 miles of range. And when I gas up my car, by the end, I usually have like 400-ish miles of range, which is actually pretty good. One time I had 495, and I was really pleasantly surprised, and that was because I was really pushing my limits with how far I could go on a tank of gas. But yeah, usually you're getting like 400 to 430, give or take, you know, so it's not that bad. It's plenty of range. This thing, I truly apologize for the really unprofessional nature of this video. I'm watching my phone just shake like crazy. I mean, you'd probably think it would be in my hands and I have like Parkinson's or something, but no, it's because I have a phone mount. This road, like, it's like driving on a giant rumble strip is what it is. Now, the A4 is actually quite nice inside. It is pretty quiet. It was a whole lot more quiet until I put roof racks on it, but I like my roof racks, what can I say? And like I said, it's a great car to commute in. I think I drove like 20 minutes to my workplace and back every day for like 2 months until my season started. And now I just drive it to practice, and I'll drive to school in the fall. And I like driving it. It is a very pleasant driving experience. It feels upscale, you know, like a lot of people complain that German cars are over-engineered. They certainly are. But you can really feel it in the suspension when you're going around turns and whatnot, that it is just so well engineered, so overdone. However, this does have its consequences, and I guess this really rolls well into my next section, being A4 is a whole lot more expensive to maintain than its competitors in this sort of, I'd say like $3,000 to $8,000 price range, I'd say, with $8,000 kind of reaching it, being for a really nice example. That was the most clapped out Lincoln Navigator I've ever seen. How should I put it? Put it this way, you can't just use normal parts on it. Like, say you have a Ford Taurus. You can just go to AutoZone, pick up some Duralast parts, and then toss them in the Taurus, and you are all set. This car, no, it is not like that. I have to get I get literally everything off of FCP Euro. This is a great example right here. I had to change my coil packs, which is a very simple job in this car. Actually, I might have made a YouTube tutorial on it. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, it is very easy to do. However, I changed them with Duralast parts, which was a terrible mistake, because what happens when you put cheap parts in a German car, they break. And I think I went like literally like 40 miles, and then my car was misfiring like really bad, and I don't like misfiring. So I changed it with some Boss coils. It might have been a little more expensive, however, it was certainly worth it, because after that, they never misfired. Currently, my trip odometer says 3608 for mileage, and I haven't had a single misfire since. Now, the biggest elephant in the room with this Audi and Audis of this era is the timing chains. Now, you shouldn't be like too scared of them. It's just a routine maintenance item. However, it is quite an expensive routine maintenance item. I'm really sorry about this road. This is honestly terrible. Oh my God, there's a cat in there. Okay, but this cat is not even moving. This dude is not. It's what? No way. That is a fox. Hold on. You guys gotta see this. How do I rotate this thing? Oh man, that was so cool. Okay, I have to reset this back up. Yeah, there was a fox in the road. That was awesome. I thought it was an orange cat, but yeah. So if you can find an A4 with timing chains taken care of, it's awesome. But you know, say you found one for $3 grand with maybe like somewhere around 100K miles, and the timing chains need to be done. Do it. Buy that car, because you can find a good independent specialist, or if you're a DIYer, change those timing chains, you know, say everything else is good, and you have a perfect car at that price point, in my opinion. Furthermore, the B7s have a great aftermarket. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with these cars, from places such as 034 Motorsport, FCP Euro, I think has some aftermarket parts. I think it's pretty fun to go on ECS tuning, and yeah, it is so bright out. And look at all the parts that they have available. But yeah, there's a big aftermarket, which I think for a car enthusiast such as myself is really appealing. Now, I don't have enough money to do things that I'd kind of like to do in this car, like make it stage 1. However, if I did, I would definitely be doing stuff like that. It is really cool. This car has a big aftermarket support. There's a pretty nice and supportive B7 community. You know, they are pretty good cars. As long as you keep up on maintenance and you're a responsible owner, you can have yourself a very nice B7, and that is why I think these are very underrated, especially at the price point they're at. Now, I feel like I'm probably forgetting something. I definitely am. Someone in the comments, which the only person in the comments is probably going to be like my aunt. Shout out Aunt Renee. I know you're in Taiwan right now, but it's pretty cool. You're definitely watching this video. But as I was saying, someone's going to complain and say I missed something, so I truly apologize about that. But thank you for watching this video. If you'd like, you can like or subscribe. I'm not forcing you to. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could unsubscribe and dislike the video. Once again, do what you want. I don't really care. It's your choice, not mine. But thank you for watching. I think I'll try to attempt to make more videos, even though everything I do is honestly pretty boring. Actually, you know, I'm going to a junkyard soon, so maybe I'll make a video about that. But yeah, thank you, and have a great day, or night, or morning. I don't know. Do something.